Good afternoon from one of my favourite London termini, Paddington railway station, and today you join me for a very exciting journey down to South Wales with Great Western Railway on their Pullman Dining service. And those of you who have been following for a while will remember that I was on the Night Riviera sleeper last July and it broke down in the Cornish countryside for 4 hours, and as a result of that we actually got given free first class anytime return tickets as a result of that. So we're using them today. We'll be travelling on the Pullman Dining service this evening at 5:48 down to Carmarthen in southwest Wales via Cardiff and Swansea, so it should be a really interesting journey. So I'm going to head inside to the first class lounge and we can get this journey started. Paddington Station was opened in its current form in 1854 to the spectacular design of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, whose statue now adorns the station's concourse. Of course, more recently the station has gained fame from a certain bear who first appeared in Michael Bond's 1958 book A Bear Called Paddington, with several monuments to him throughout the terminus. And having had a quick look around, it was time for us to head into the first class lounge located on platform 1. The GWR First Class Lounge offers an extremely peaceful place to wait for your train, featuring a good variety of both hot and cold drinks, as well as an array of snacks, including fresh fruit, multiple different biscuits, nuts and crisps, plenty to keep you going before boarding the train. Of course, it would be impossible to come to the lounge without looking at the spectacular royal waiting room first used by Queen Victoria in the 19th century. Featuring plush leather sofas and stylish artwork, it certainly harks back to the golden age of rail travel. As well as the beautiful spaces to enjoy your complimentary refreshments, the lounge has a spacious toilet and shower, both of which I found to be spotlessly clean. So I'm now out of the first class lounge. You will have just seen our experience inside. It was actually really nice, a lovely place to relax before we jump on board our train, which is next to me here on platform 9. So we're heading up to the restaurant car and we'll jump on board and then hopefully begin this lovely dining service. Today's journey into South Wales will be formed of 2 5-car Class 800 IETs joined together until Swansea, when the rear section of the train would take us onwards to Carmarthen. It was also in the rear section of the train that the restaurant car was located, so having been welcomed aboard by the friendly hosts, we took our reserved seats and settled down for this very exciting journey. Speaking of the journey, let's have a quick look at today's route to Carmarthen. Starting from London Paddington, we run fast to Reading, passing by many of the suburban stations served by the stopping Elizabeth Line trains. From here we follow the Great Western Main Line through Didcot Parkway in Swindon before joining the South Wales Main Line through the 4-mile-long Severn Tunnel to take us into Wales. With further stops at Cardiff, Bridgend, Port Talbot Parkway and Neath, we soon arrive in Swansea, where the catering crew disembark and the rear 5 carriages take us the final 50 minutes onwards to Carmarthen itself. Scheduled journey time to cover the 221-mile route is 3 hours and 52 minutes, giving us an average speed of 57 miles per hour. Of course, this 17:48 departure is one of 6 Pullman Dining services every weekday, which can be found on the GWR website or highlighted in the dark green on the timetable. Last orders are taken at Bristol Parkway on the Welsh services and at either Reading when travelling to Plymouth or Exeter when travelling to Paddington from the southwest. Finally, it's also worth noting that many of the dining services actually have a special name indicated on the printed timetable, with our departure today being the so-called Capitals United, something that I think GWR can maybe publicise more widely. Looking at the seat, as expected, it's no different to the usual product in GWR First Class, featuring a soft headrest embroidered with the GWR branding, large adjustable armrests, USB and standard plug sockets, and a good amount of recline. The difference, however, is the offering on board, with menus laid out on the table providing a range of freshly cooked meals. And at £38 for 2 courses or £46 for 3, these meals certainly aren't the cheapest, but bearing in mind all non-alcoholic drinks are complimentary and the quality of the food that's served, I think it's pretty reasonable value for money, even more so when using a standard class ticket. Of course, we had our complimentary first class tickets, so we're able to reserve a table through the GWR website, but anyone in standard class can still use the dining car as long as you check with the restaurant manager beforehand. And with departure from Paddington bang on time, it was time to sit back and enjoy the evening sun before our first course arrived.
Anybody wishing to dine, you can find the restaurant at the centre of the train.
Shortly after our order had been taken, the first course was served in the form of a warm baked roll with Gloucestershire butter and a delicious French onion soup topped with cheddar croutons and pea shoots. An amazing way to start the dining experience as we slowly pulled into Reading. And with the stunning countryside whizzing past the window, the main event was served. With both of us deciding on different dishes, we got to experience both of best worlds, with a beautifully cooked medium rare steak served with peppercorn sauce, a beef fat chip and tender stem broccoli, and the chicken dish with dauphinoise potato being extremely tasty and filling. Not long after departing Bristol Parkway, the amazing restaurant crew took our order for dessert, which was promptly served in the form of a warm chocolate brownie with sour cherry sauce and a delicious apple and blackberry crumble served with custard, both of which were thoroughly enjoyed as we made our way towards the Welsh capital. Having arrived in Cardiff, there was just enough time for a final round of service, with hot drinks and mint chocolates rounding off the amazing dining experience, which I would thoroughly recommend if you ever get the chance. And just like that, I've reached Carmarthen in South Wales. And you may have noticed that we weren't on GWR from Swansea. Our train actually broke down in Swansea station. It wasn't working, so we had to transfer onto a Transport for Wales service for the final 15 minutes onwards to Carmarthen. But that didn't spoil what was an amazing journey on the Pullman Dining with GWR. The food was absolutely excellent. The staff on board were absolutely amazing. so friendly, so kind. We got tea, coffee, all of that sort of thing, which is complimentary. And yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Definitely worth doing if you ever get the chance. So, time to head to the hotel. Thank you for coming with me on this journey, and hopefully I will see you in the next adventure.